Hello, I'm AbbyX and welcome back to another live stream on the internet. Today we are going to be placing bamboo, and not just for any odd reason, although usually it's for any odd reason, but we're doing it today because if we can place 10 million blocks, or 100, yeah, it's 10 million blocks of bamboo in Minecraft, then Minecraft donates a lot of money to save some pandas. Or it's actually more broadly just for WWF funds, but still, we can save animals, including and better than pandas. All we have to do is place a bunch of bamboo on the ground, and you know, I'm going to rise to the challenge. I'm going to place a bunch of bamboo, so that's what we're doing today, and it's going to be a lot of fun, I think, and by a lot of fun, I mean a lot of bamboo. But you know, those things are basically synonymous terms anyway. So, before we get started, you might notice I'm wearing a green IBX Toycat t-shirt. Oh, that's not a good sign. I'm wearing a green IBX Toycat t-shirt, and looking at it, you can see how it's a bit worn out. It's gone a bit blue over the years, like it's a little bit rough, like it feels kind of bad. So you know, I kind of want some new Toycat merch. Oh, as it so turns out, Toycat, good thing you asked, there actually is now a brand new Toycat merch store you can buy. And if you buy during live streams, it'll show up on screen as well. So yeah, you can, as well as all of our terrible old merch, there's now a new design merch. We got the Christmas cat hoodie. We got a bunch of merch here, as you can see. We got the Toy Kitten. This one's one of my favorites. Like, look at this t-shirt right here. So yeah, we also got the British but Nordic. We got a bunch of new merch designs, and go check them out if you want to. Look at that right there. How wonderful. So yeah, new Toycat merch, streamlabs.com/Toycat. It's linked in the description. Go to the merch page at the top here. You can tip money, you can tip crypto, or you can buy merch, and it all counts the same on stream. So if you're the sort of person who's like, you know, I don't believe in tipping money or crypto, you can tip by buying merch apparently too. It counts just the same, but whatever. So with that said, let's dive straight into this one now. So you can see I've made some pretty good progress on the bamboo farm since the last time you saw it. You're going to see it in Q&A Saturday, and someone's going to ask, like, Toycat, this is before the live stream. Well, you know, it makes sense now. But yeah, basically, today we're going to be placing a lot of dirt. I actually have a whole inventory full, and then a lot of, quartz as well, and then a lot of bamboo, which is going to lead to some really good stuff. I don't have the iron to actually make the bamboo farm more automatic, but I can at least place the bamboo, which is like half the battle anyway. Which is wonderful if you ask me. So, yeah, basically, Toycat, if you talk about capitalism, you'll fall off and die. Good thing I've gone Elytra, and you're not in the overworld. That means that falling off is basically not a concern. But yeah, we're just going to make a lot of these stretches, just to make a nice long thing, and then we'll start putting bamboo on it. And then, you know, crazy things should start to occur. Whoa there, says, can we get 5,000 subs in her videos? I have so many, so many channels like that comment on mine, like, you know, their channel's like a regular subscriber, but, like, it's the same sort of thing. Or, like, can I get, you know, this without that? And it's like, you know, who comes up with these names for channels? Why'd they do those? So, by the way, it is midnight as we record this also. I have a flight that I've got to catch. It's actually in, like, 8 hours, but you have to get to the airport 2 hours early, and the airport's 2 hours away from my house. So you do the maths on that one, it's like, oh, I guess I'm waking up in 4 hours. But I mean, if you're waking up in 4 hours, are you really waking up in 4 hours? Or are you just not sleeping for that number of hours? And the answer to that question is a lot more depressing than I really want to get into. So, yeah, we're up all night. We're up all night to look at chat. We're up all night to, place bamboo. So yeah, we basically, placing 10 million bamboo. I feel like this is the first time my insanity farming is actually going to help out Minecraft. Do you ever think about it that way? Like, you know, Minecraft... You know, they have lots of different things they want you to do every year. It's like, oh yeah, make sure you go to the feedback slide, make sure you do this, that. This time, my way of helping out the game, my way of helping out the real life environment is by making an insane farm, by planting and unplanting lots of blocks. The answer is no. What are you doing staying up this late? My body's just broken. I don't know what live stream broke me, but it was one of the live streams. I think it was Monday this week. I was like, I'll wake up at 8, start doing things normally. Went to sleep at 4 that night, and my life has been ruined ever since. So now you know. The Toycat sleep schedule, it's not fixed right now, but I'll get it back in check soon because, you know, like, Christmas is coming up. Actually, that's a good reason not to get it back in check. Like, not being tired at 4 AM is actually, like, a really cool thing in my opinion. Like, it has some benefits. So, why Bedrock and Java? What's the pros and cons? The update isn't out in Java, but the pros and cons honestly come down to, like, preference. I could talk about them all day, but, like, everyone disagrees about them, so it wouldn't be very effective to talk about them all day. But, also, get the minecart hopper, wherever it is. For some reason, like, the minecart hopper seems like it takes, like, 6 years to do a loop. I guess it must be stuck somewhere. Oh, wait, actually, is this a thing that's, like, regular on Bedrock? Like, is there a problem with hoppers not going around? Oh. Something's gone wrong here. Something's gone horrible. Oh, it's over here, so we just have to break a couple blocks, give it a good push, and there we go. And now we can continue as we were. So, yeah, basically, we're going to get the bamboo we can, and place it down. It's going to be great. Are you happy that items don't despawn unless you're in the chunk, says YT Immapop? No, that's a terrible feature. I wish they would remove that one. Who does that even benefit, am I right? Oh, I only got 4 bamboo, because I haven't been in these chunks since the last time I was here. But yeah, basically, we're going to use this bamboo, and we're going to have 2 bamboo farms. This is going to be the very logical, sane, sorted bamboo farm, and this is going to be the exact opposite of that. Just bamboo as far as I can place it, just to kind of show off, like, look, this is how much bamboo I have. So all it takes, because there's 100 million copies of Minecraft sold, everyone has to place 1/10 of a bamboo block, and then we can, save those pandas. However, here's the great thing, right? If I just place a lot more than 10, all I have to do is destroy a lot of these bamboo stalks, then I can do a lot more than my fair share, because, I'm just that type of lovely guy. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to run through this whole thing. Do you hear those noises, by the way? Is that bamboo falling down? Is that the bird? That was the weirdest noise. How come you don't ever try modded on the channel? Modded just is, I've gone over this one before. A lot of people don't like my responses, but the truth is like, modded is, it's a... Did I place 2 bamboo on the same block? I didn't. Oh no, I made it grow, that's why I did. But, yeah, no, the truth is modded is like, it's a whole different game in some ways. Like, I know, like, a lot of people like modding games, so I don't talk about it too much, because, like, I don't care if you mod your own games. That's fine. Like, that's a thing I respect your right ability and enjoyment to do, but it's not where I find enjoyment, personally. I know that's blasphemous to some people, but it's fine. So I'm just going to get a lot of bamboo, just place them all in the same row. It's really hard to work out where you've placed bamboo and where you haven't, because it's, a fun fact about it you might not have noticed, is that it places randomly on each block. So, like, here, for instance, none of them place in the center, they all go at different places, which might be usable in some weird context. I'm not even sure where you could use that, but you probably could. Have they announced when the Java update's coming, says Darcy Haynes. I'm assuming you're a Java player based on the words you're using right there. But yeah, no, the answer to that question is that we just know like early 2019 probably. Who knows? So yeah, if you like Bedrock, you get more frequent updates. Java, you get bigger updates, which it's the same content just spread in different ways. It's a weird situation, but it's what we've got going on. So next up, here's another key thing I want to get done like now-ish, is I want to actually have a hopper system. So we're going to make a crafting table. Going to place down the crafting table. I probably have enough crafting tables, but like, why not have some more? Then we're going to make ourselves a hopper, which is, I think it requires a chest, right? Yep, get ourselves a chest, get ourselves a hopper, and then make ourselves another chest to put under the hopper. Because what we want to do is just to like automatically collect all the bamboo. A little pro tip you might not know is that you can just put hoppers underneath rails, or you can put rails above hoppers rather, and it's like that. Why so late, says Blake 101. The reason we're so late today is because I've been like super, like, okay, so everything's been a bit delayed today. Hey, I placed some bamboo today. That message. So thank you very much for the super chats. I appreciate them both. The reason it's so late by UK time standards is because, so we're going to use this as our placing ground. So it's going to fall off the rails. That's, oh no, okay, let's just spin it round. It's fine. And we're going to remove this block, turn it into a hopper, and then put like a chest here, I guess. Yeah, sure. That works for me. So place a chest here, and then place a hopper over here. And then we can place rails back on top of it. Just like this. And look at that. Now, every time the hopper goes over it, it will slowly drain the stuff into the chest. Like you've seen, it's already done. Boom. Toy cat knowledge. All over your face again. So, is this the only automatic farm, or are there others coming, says Christian Larson? Oh yeah, a lot of people, for the longest time, I've never done automatic farms in Minecraft. Like, I know a lot of people love them, but like, it's again, it's like, it's a preference thing. Like, there's no right or wrong way to do Minecraft. Except in some people's mind there is. Like, no, Toy Cat, you will play modded Minecraft. It's the only way to play the game. But, no, personally, my real take on it is like, automatic farms, I'm only doing one here as like a fun proof of concept. But I think the other farms are more interesting looking, even if we do it like this way. So why are you placing bamboo for 90 minutes, says FGH. To save the environment, of course. God. So yeah, we're going to make a lot of these things. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a big bamboo farm by the end, which is all I've ever wanted in the world. Just lots of bamboo. Lots and lots and lots of bamboo. Where does the bamboo come from? It comes from fishing in jungles right now, because reasons apparently. That's the best explanation I've got so far for you. Hopefully it's a good enough one. If it's not, then call your representative on this number right here. So yeah, let's just save ourselves some time. Oh wait, that doesn't work. Place a couple blocks, then go 1, 2, 3, and then have another one, and so on and so forth. And we're going to do this just for every layer right now, just to make my life easier. So we can just start placing them and talking about whatever we usually talk about. A lot of people have started saying, like, it's philosophy of Toycat, these live streams. And I've always wondered, like, you know, philosophy is a really interesting subject. But I'm not sure that is what we're talking about, right? Like, I feel like it comes up. I feel like the morals of, like... yeah, I mean, like, I feel like morality does come up sometimes in that, like, you know, I feel like it's a core part of a lot of the other things. But I'm still a bit weird with that thing. So are you okay with not sleeping, says Lindsay Dillon? Honestly, when you decide... Okay, so, like, if I slept right now, I would get just under 4 hours sleep. But if I tried to sleep right now, I'd end up with, like, 3 hours sleep. And honestly, 3 hours sleep is so close to none that I think I'd be better doing 0. And plus, there's the fact that, like, I have to edit Q&A Saturday. I can't not edit. Like, I can't not release Q&A Saturday on a Saturday. What is this, madness? So, like, when you factor in that sort of stuff, it's more like, okay. Well, I mean, it's more, you know, it's more choosing to get stuff done now, so I don't feel guilty about not getting stuff done over the next couple of days. Because I'm going to a fun little island, maybe. Sleep on the ride. Yeah, it's possible to do that. Like, plain sleep, especially when you're tired, is amazing. You take off, and then you land, and it's like, oh, there were some steps in between, I imagine, but I don't recall any of them. But yeah, I can't sleep on the train, because, you know, I've learned... Well, I mean, I didn't sleep last time, but, like, you know, apparently that counts as unattended baggage, as far as my insurance is concerned. When does the update come out on PS4, says Skylar Dorzat? The update comes out on PlayStation 4. Oh, actually, I have some really good news. Exclusive for the Toycat livestream. How long does it take to enter REM sleep anyway? I want to say a really long time, because I know you get very little REM sleep during a night. It's just that happens to be the important stuff. But, yeah, I think, like, 3 hours. I think the reason it feels bad is the REM sleep thing you mentioned. So I'm going to place a bed just out here, just to make my life even easier. Why go inside to sleep? Why go inside to sleep when you can sleep outside? It's basically just as good. Anyway, so now you can see the every time the hopper comes past, it takes the bamboo and it puts it in here. Although we need to hook up the other side too and put more pistons in. Actually, we probably should do that. Like, we've only got like this many pistons pushing. I can set up more pistons. It's great. It depends on how much REM sleep you need. It varies. Is that really true? That's unfair if that's true. Because I've always known that if I could sleep 4 hours a night, my life would be infinitely better. Like, I could just make scones for 4 hours. With like, there is nothing you can do that's more productive than sleep, except for the fact that you literally need sleep or your body, like, breaks down or whatever. And it's like, you know, there are so many things I'd rather be doing than sleeping. But, you know, I don't have that option. That's not my call to make, apparently. I guess we need to make a bunch of wood. Then we'll make as many pistons as the game will let me. We need cobblestone. Then we'll make some choppers. I learned psychology. You can train yourself to sleep for 4 hours. But as I understand it, the health side effects of losing that much sleep really weigh on you later on in life. Just a rumor. I had PS4s coming out 2 days ago. Oh, that's a crazy rumor you've heard right there. But yeah, no, I think we're gonna hear more about the PlayStation 4. We're gonna hear about it next Tuesday. Like, I'm excited a little bit. I'm excited for you, really, more than anything else. So I need a dropper. I mean, I need an observer, but I have no clue what I'm missing for an observer. So it's probably in items, right? So we need a... Oh, it's quartz. It's always quartz. Funky Tau. 90 minutes spent at REM. So yeah, like, if I sleep for 3 hours, I'm getting... Half that sleep's just going to nothing, you know? It's just entirely gone. Which is terrible. That's not what you want. You don't want gone sleep. That's a waste of everyone's time. So, eat a bean, please, says number one thing. I mean, the bean thing was a fun gimmick, but if I do it every stream, it's just Toycat gets tortured for $10 at a time. Which, I mean, like, it's a fair enough concept if you want to see it, but it's kind of a thing. But, yeah, I don't know, like, I feel like what we talk about here isn't usually philosophy, it's more just, like, you know, basic morality sometimes. Like, I still find it fun just to sometimes work out, like, you know, we have this built-in sensor inside us that tells us, like, oh yeah, some things equal good, some things equals bad. But, like, working out exactly where those lines lay is near impossible. It's really easy to, like, blur the lines, if you will. And it's, like, kind of weird like that. If you take a 20-minute nap every 2 hours, you can run on 4 hours sleep. See, Mickey Blade, that sounds like a good idea until you realize, like, but then how many hours of sleep do you lose during the day? Unless you mean, like, instead of sleeping 4 hours in a row, you sleep 20 minutes, how many times? Like, 12 times in a day? That would be 3 times 4. That would be 4 hours. Okay, maybe that is what you're suggesting. That would make more sense, actually. You know, I'll assume it is until further notice is given. But yeah, basically, I really wish I could sleep longer. I really wish I could sleep less less maybe. And I'm always sad when I realize, like, you know, I don't think I can train my body to do that, because I feel the effects after like a few days of doing it, of like how wrecked I am and how like out of tune I am with the world. And all I want more than anything else is more sleep. And when I finally give it to myself, I'm like, yes, this is where I want to be at. So yeah, truthfully, oh, we need redstone here. Place a bunch of redstone all the way to the end here. And let's do this. There's a philosophical debate on whether morality is subjective or not. I mean, it clearly is, though, right? Like, it very, very clearly is. Like, some of it is objective in that, like, it's rare to find a culture that believes murder's okay. But most of it is subjective in, like, you know, there's a whole bunch of rules and laws that come about where you're like, oh yeah, we've just decided this is wrong. Why is this wrong? Because it is. I don't know, like, a good example of that is, like, in the classroom, there are some, you know, there'd always be some people, right? Some girls, you know, let's be honest, like, I don't know what, like, you'd want to call them. Like, in America, it's called, like, a teacher's pet or whatever. It's like, you can only, you've been telling it's only obtained from fishing and killing pandas, but it's actually very common in jungle temples. 5 minutes, easy, says the art theist. So the reason I've been saying just those two things is because I've said before you can find it in rare chests. A whole bunch of them, not just the ones you mentioned there. But the reason is this: if you have an existing survival world, which is a lot of people who follow this channel, that's not useful to hear. And even if you don't have one, you need to find a good seed for it. Like, maybe I should make like a bamboo in Minecraft seed. Actually, you know, there's a good idea for a title that might get some views. But yeah, I think it'd just be like, okay, here's a jungle temple near spawn that has bamboo. But I think truthfully, we're gonna be stuck on something here. But I think truthfully, that's not too ideal. How many hours do you think you've played in your life? I think the achievements menu gives you a good idea, right? So we've played 1,439 hours of survival Minecraft, plus the time that we played on. Wait, this is just since Bedrock came out. What, last year? So in the last year, I played 1,400 hours. If you extrapolate that out and assume I play that much all the time, I don't know. Is it okay to be a killer philosopher? You know, there's a good question right there. Like, is it okay to be a philosopher who also kills? Is it okay, unless you mean, is it okay to be a really good philosopher? But yeah, no, I don't think it's really philosophy. I think it's a lot more kind of just like, you know, everyone has these weird things inside them, and I like to try and like explain them outwards, you know, or at least talk about the theories behind what we know. Because I still to this day wonder, like, you know. If you take, okay, so here's a good example, right? If you take an alternate version of you, you go back in time and you change one detail about your life. Let's say when you're a kid, if you shoot your father when you're young, and then that leads you to growing up without a father figure or something, and then that version of you commits a bunch of crime, are you a criminal? Or like, yeah, should that be counted as a thing? Oh, this one has knockback on for some reason. I honestly forgot about that. And it's like, I mean, well, I mean, it's not you, right? But I mean, it's an exact replica of you, except for one tiny thing. If you're capable of doing that, is that a bad thing? If everyone's capable of doing these things, then why do we have prisons? And then you can endlessly talk about why that's a thing. I've only played 346 hours in Bedrock. I mean, 346 hours is still like a lot of hours. Wouldn't a sword be faster? Pro tip: the sword and the axe are both similar uses as I understand it. Like, looking at the speed here, it's like the same or no difference. Like, as long as you use some tool, it'll work just fine. For some reason, your fist just is really, really slow though on bamboo. I'm not sure what the logic is, but apparently the game thinks there's some. So yeah, let's plant some bamboo. Again, we want to save those pandas, and the only way to save the pandas is to place all this bamboo. Like, it's the only thing we can do, guys. It's the only thing we can do. But speaking of criminals, why do you... Oh, no, that was a clever politics thing, though. They said, speaking of criminals, insert current UK Prime Minister. Hey, that's funny stuff. I like that everyone's, I guess, back into politics a little bit. But, I mean, like, it seems like in the wrong way. Everyone's like, ooh, something big was about to happen, and then it didn't. But now we're going to talk about it for years anyway, it feels like. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it's always like, oh, man. Politics is such a weird one. Because, you know, going back to the morality thing, You know how there's like an exit. Oh, by the way, I missed the super chat. By the way, I sent a donation. Oh, because it came at the same time as the other one. Hey, love videos, and you inspire me. Here's a question: Apple or Android, and why is this toxicity? I like how the name's toxicity, and then he's got like a second one here where he goes, "You meanie." That's the most non-toxic form of toxicity I've seen in a while. So thank you for non-toxic toxicity. That's my favorite type of toxicity. Also, hey, again, just finished your recovery mission, +1 mil. Congrats. Yeah, no, I'm so glad I got that done. A part of me is just like, oh, you know, it's gonna haunt me forever. I'm gonna see it when I close my eyes. But no, part of me is just happy it got done. So yeah, thank you very much for the donation. The question before, in case you're curious, if you want to know what it was, maybe follow yourself, was Apple or Android. I have an Android phone. This right here is an Android phone. It's a OnePlus 6T. Like, it's a slab that isn't an iPhone. Oh, funnily enough, wait, did you guys see this? So, I can talk about why in a second. But recently, I think it was Google. They did a huge hearing at, I think it was the US Senate, maybe the US Congress. Like, one of the US houses of government. And one of the questions they asked was like, so are you tracking my 13-year-old daughter's iPhone? And it's like, sir, the iPhone is made by Apple. We are Google. And he's like, oh, it might be an Android. And it's like, what is... Oh, man. That is too much for me. That is too much for me. Apple has better security. Android is more consumer friendly. So Apple, I mean, you can say it has more security in the same way you can say Mac has more security, i.e. less people want to try to do stuff with it. But getting, okay, so like, the way both phones work is it's all sandboxed stuff. Like, getting actual malware-filled apps is really, really hard because you have to go out of your way, so far out of your way too, to actually install it. It's just people don't want to admit, like, oh yeah, well I went on the, I clicked on a weird ad, downloaded an app, and then it prompted me, like, to give them my Google details, and I did, and that's their fault, you know? Like, that's kind of the basic point. Apple is a better logo. I would admit, the Apple logo is actually quite a sleek one. I think it's like, when it's done in the right material, it's nice, but I think it's a bad logo that just is always in good circumstances. Whereas the Google logo is like a pretty nice G that's in bad situations, maybe. That's my feel of things. I heard about that. It was hilarious. The person that she had to tell a politician, iPhone's made by a different company. It's a real, like, I don't know. I feel like, you know, hearing people talk about tech. So, you know how, like, when you're an expert in any industry, hearing, like, anyone talk about that, it's just wildly painful. One of my favorite examples is every single time there's any type of, like, abandoned takeoff, abandoned landing, anything like that, the news reports on it as being like, this plane almost crashed and saved at the last second, and it's like, that's a routine procedure to save life. So, like, whenever there's, like, a weird landing, they're like, oh, this is the first time this has happened. Like, a lot of news and, you know, like, it's, I think what this really exposes is, for most people, I think before the internet, you couldn't know an expert on everything. So, like, there'd be a guy who just knew a lot of things about a lot of things. It's like, okay, yep, that's how things are. Oh, by the way, is this Minecraft Pocket Edition, Bedrock or Java? Minecraft Pocket Edition is Bedrock-based, whereas Minecraft, if you play on a PC that is Java-based, then it's Java. There you go, easy stuff. If there's got the Java launcher, it's Java. If it doesn't, it's Bedrock. Some people sleep with the TV on and can end up dreaming about what's on the TV. Oh, I dream about my alarms all the time. Like, when I wake up, or when my alarm first goes off, the alarm integrates itself into my dream in the weirdest way. So, isn't it hacking to place bridges like that? Yeah, that's the funny Bedrock Java thing. A lot of people subscribe to the channel for the first time. They're like, so, yep, nice normal Java thing, right? And they're like, oh, this is a weird thing, I guess. So, also, I have the same dreams as Charlie Trustler. Yeah, it's a weird thing because I feel like dreams are the biggest reminder that your subconscious isn't under your control. Everyone has this constant belief that, like, I'm in control of my life, and you can be in some amount of control. But you literally, every human, no matter who you are, no matter how great you are at stuff, you still have to turn off your brain and let it just fire randomly all night. You know, like, you dream about the most unimaginable, creepy, bad, good, scary things. Like, everyone has that dream where you're falling at some point. You know, you didn't want to do that. Your brain did it to you. And that's a kind of funny thing of just like, you know, there's a lot you can be in control of, but literally your own body, for 1/3 of the time, you're not in control of, you know? It's a funny kind of thing to me. So, hi Tucat, love videos, you're awesome, keep doing what you're doing best. I'm the biggest fan ever, please read. Oh, I wish if it said please read at the start, I wouldn't have read it, because I don't like read messages like that. But thanks so much for the message. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Side note, I've broken a lot of blocks, and not, like, this pickaxe has full durability, because every single time I'm breaking's gone lucky and not used up a durability. So let's see how long this lasts. Oh. Okay, then. Okay, then. I shouldn't have said anything. I was amazed. I'd gone so many blocks. I'd broken so many bits of quartz. And the minute I notice it, that does stuff. But yeah, no, there's this, also good to see you, Mario Maniac. But there's this interesting thing in every field where, like, people who are, you know, like, on any level of expertise, you used to not know about them. So you used to not know what it was like at that level. Whereas now, like, the truth is like, if you're in, you know, in any field, you need to know a little bit on a lot of things. But you can never learn... Oh, my controller's died. Give me a second. Be right back. 1 second. So, Kat, that's not entirely true about dreams. Heard about lucid dreaming. Even lucid dreaming... So, I've lucid dreamed a fair number of times. Let me admit to you right now. Let's put the batteries in this way, see if the controller works. It does not work. We'll put the batteries in the other way. Real life problems. I always... Changing batteries before streams. Side note, the last time I changed these batteries were before Saturday's stream. So I've played enough Minecraft in the last 4 days to change a battery. Maybe that's not too impressive to most people, but like... That seems like a big thing. So let's go ahead. What are you doing? Says Jacob Ortiz. I am making an insane bamboo farm. Unless you mean like that very second, in which case I was of course putting batteries in my controller. So yeah, basically it's interesting. Like every base level of subject, everyone has like basic knowledge. Like for instance, in the dietary world, everyone knows like, oh yeah, don't go to McDonald's, makes you fat, right? That's like, oh yeah, that's like 101, like, you know, it's real bad there. And it's like, I mean, that's actually quite a misleading statement, because any restaurant meal, you know, this is a study that came out today, every restaurant meal is like 40% worse than any fast food or like the average restaurant meal. Because in restaurants, they have no care for your health. They care about getting you food out there fast that you think is tasty, you know? Like, despite, you know, it's an interesting thing that, like, the basic knowledge of, like, oh yeah, McDonald's is bad is good to know on the surface. It's really, like, it's a great thing to be like, oh yeah, if you keep going to McDonald's, you'll get large, or it's not good, it's not nutritional. But then everyone, like, turns that into, like, extra kind of lie things to justify it. So, like, why is it bad to go to McDonald's? Oh, because they don't use real beef. They use, I don't know, you know, dead chickens from the road. And someone's like, wow, that does fit with the knowledge we have already. Because there's this real problem where, like, your hairstyle looks very Korean. It actually does, you're right. Yeah, no, I that's a comment I haven't heard before. But I'll agree with you on that one, Harwin Monzon. That's not good. I'm not a Korean. I don't want to steal their hairstyle culture. McDonald's makes you scared. But, like, everyone learns, like, one important fact. And then there's a level, it's called the Dunning-Kruger effect, I think it is. There's this level of knowledge where you assume you know everything about a field, despite knowing very little. And I've always been bugged by this, because everything has this. Like, if you try to learn about anything, you realize how wrong the world is about it. So, like, I had a year, in case you're curious, where I got really into, let's just call it, like, general health. I wanted to maximize how much bad food I could eat by min-maxing, like, I eat healthy meals, like, 60% of the time, and I eat horrifically unhealthy meals the other 40%. That's my life right now, if you don't know. About 1 meal a day I eat bad, 2 meals a day I eat super healthy. Today I had a quarter pound of cheese, fries, and basically a milkshake for breakfast. And then I had 2 other healthy meals, and then I had a scone for dinner, you know? Like, what a healthy day that was. It's not actually, it's not a good nutritionally balanced day, but my point being, I got really into health at one point. And one of the things that bugged, like, this one drove me crazy. I have a really intelligent friend who's really, really in shape. But one time I went to get Subway with him, and he said something along the lines of, like, so, you know, I don't want to be eating any of that white bread, because the moment it goes to your stomach, it turns into sugar. It just magically transforms. And, you know, like, there's some truth to that. Like, bread, any carbohydrate you eat does technically turn into, sugar, similar energy source to sugar. By the way, this is exactly 64 blocks. By pure coincidence, I managed to make this 64 blocks long, which I just love. That's beautiful. Ride the water slide, says Willie Williamson. That is going to tempt a lot of people. But it's like, also, Toycat, is this your main world? And if so, what rules did you have in regards to cheats? No cheats. Like, everyone always has, like, these weird rules, like, so what about this, that, that? It's like, I just don't cheat. I play legit survival. I don't know why that's, like, a weird thing in the modern world. But it's like, you know the activates cheat option? I look at it, and I say, nah, none of that for me. You see this one here? Wait, where is it, actually? Yeah, this one right there. It's like, no, we won't have that on. I turned on experimental gameplay, and for a little bit, I used the beta. But I think even the beta, it's not cheating, but it's like, it's not the same version most people play, so I stopped using it. But, yeah, it's like, it's a fairly simple kind of rule. Bread and pasta turn into sugar when you eat them. Yeah, dietary science over the average thing that most people know is now carbohydrates are bad. Carbs are literally poison. Bread is literally, poison for you. It goes into your body and it kills you. And this is really, really bad for two reasons. One, carbohydrates are important. You need some amount of them, or ideally, you can go without them, but like for most people, it's a good idea to have them. And two, they're a really efficient food. They're a really, really, really efficient food in terms of like how cheap it is, and also how many like you how efficient, how many people you can feed with the same field. Like if you eat only meat, it's like significantly less, less healthy for you than if you just if you actually have a varied diet with some carbs in there. So it's worse for you, and it's also worse for the like let's say the environment. It's worse for world hunger. It's worse on so many levels, all because people are like because the truth is, like I said, every single field, every single major area of expertise you can have, there's like some widespread knowledge which has basis in truth. If it's entirely wrong, it gets corrected eventually because enough people are smug about it. Like, actually, didn't you know the first president wasn't George Washington? He was Abraham. I don't know what it is, but I know George Washington is the first president, by the way. Oh, side note. So I want to come back to this, but here's the craziest thing. If you look at the first election the U.S. ever held, George Washington was elected with 100% of the vote. 100%. What, like, every single vote in America at the time was, and I'm just so suspicious of that, man. Like, that is the craziest thing. Anyway, so fun fact with you right there. I want to mention that in a video somewhere. I just don't know where that fits. It's just like, wow, that's a weird one. Obama was the first president. But you get the point. Like, there's always knowledge that spreads from every single kind of layer, right? Like, everyone always learns different things about different fields. But it's annoying when, like the wrong beliefs kind of outweigh the right ones. Side note, pro tip, whenever you have redstone on a block, actually, let me show you this one. This is a fun fact I learned recently. If you have redstone on a block and you try to place quartz on it, because the redstone counts as a block, it places like this if you place floorboards, so like that. It's a weird thing. You could probably use that to your advantage somewhere. I just don't know where. Most people can vote back then. But it's still like 62,000 votes for George Washington, which, like, imagine if your local district or your local comptroller, or whatever ridiculous tiny thing, it'd be like, wow, 100% of the vote. That's suspicious. Oh, there's actually a funny story related to that. By the way, big thank you, Tatiana, for the 50 Norwegian crown super chat. I'm not feeling well because I accidentally ingested lactose, but I know a Toycat stream always helps. Thank you for making my night better. Hey, you're welcome, Tatiana. It is Streamless after all. This is actually the last day of Streamless for a couple of days. I'm in Malta this weekend, but streams will be returning on Sunday. So just don't ingest any more ice cream before then. I'm assuming it was ice cream. Well, you said lactose, right? I'm still mind blown that some humans are lactose intolerant. Like, no offense to your, I mean, it's not an illness or an ailment. It's just like it's a fact of some people, right? Like, some people can ingest milk and some people cannot. Always gotta be careful about this. Anyway, yeah, basically, so streamers continuing. Second of all, the fact that humans can't eat milk, that's crazy. Because, it's like the glucose, no, it's not, gluten, sorry, not glucose. Glucose is also something which has its own, like, suspicious thing going around with it. But, I stream on Christmas Day, says Zach Smith. I'll probably stream on the 23rd, maybe not the 24th, and definitely not the 25th and the 26th. Also, this is such a weird interaction of flying and the thing at the same time. Flying and scaffolding. Inject lactose toy cat equals drink milk. But, it is possible to eat dirt, it's just kind of bad for you. I think I mentioned I ate dirt yesterday. Oh no, I ate sand, sorry. Okay, that's a different thing. I love streaming, says Willie Williamson. I'm glad people are liking it as much as I'm enjoying doing it. Because I'm having a fun time. Like, you know, it's projects like this that I just be, like, kind of chilling doing anyway. It's fun to talk about anyway. Okay, so speaking to the election thing, that's not true for George Washington. They didn't have a vote. They did have a vote. They had 2 votes for George Washington. He won 2 elections. The first was unanimously, and the second one was pretty much unanimously. But yeah, here's a funny, here's one of my favorite stories about elections in the world. Because in the UK, we have a long history of elections, and going back, you can find some really weird ones. There's been, I think, 3 times in history where a general election vote has come to a draw, like in 1 seat, not the whole thing. It's never affected the whole country, but like I think it was like somewhere in Scotland. The 2 sides, you know, the Whigs and the Tories, both got exactly half the vote. And what I find crazy about this, personally, at least, is that the way they decide that, try and work out. So both sides get half the vote. What do? You know, maybe they rerun the election. Maybe you know, what else could you do? You know, there's no other options we have right there. They're exactly half. Like, you're gonna have to just, you know, have like a transferable vote, something like that. Thank you, by the way, Jackalope plays the $1 super chat. So guess by the way what they did. They flipped a coin. They asked both people, like, heads or tails. Oh, it's heads. You win the election now. We need carbs and sugars to live. It's too much that's bad. Like, drinking too much water can kill you, so you should say stop drinking water. Here's the thing. Drinking water actually does make you gain weight because, like, water takes up more weight in your body than anything else. But again, it's the same thing where you shouldn't be like, well, you should still drink water. I think, honestly, it's just, you know the phrase, moderation is key. Like, that's really good advice to live by. It's really useful advice to know. And ideally everyone should. But at the same time, it's really hard advice to follow. I think for most people, you know how most people, when they quit a lot of substances that aren't, like, actually physically addictive? Like, if you want to quit, I don't know, a lot of things. You go cold turkey, because it's really hard for the brain to accept, like, oh yeah, you can do this just sometimes. It's like I said, I eat, like, 40% of my meals are just trash meals, because I'm just there one day and I'm like, you know what? I've already eaten a pizza and a kebab. Why not have a pizza or a kebab and a giant ice cream bowl and some jalapeno poppers? You know, it's like, why not keep adding to the misery? It's just a lot of personalities, I might even argue most personalities, are just not built for addiction, you know, like... yeah, basically, we don't need carbs to live, says Steve Joe. Yeah, no, I was reading out a comment, Steve Joe. Carbs are helpful, but they're not necessary. That's why I think it's the Atkins diet. It's called these days, what's it called? It's got some ridiculous name. It's not intermittent fasting. There's keto, where it's like, you gotta activate your keto mode in your cells, and when you got ketogenic, you can feel when you're keto, man. It's a feeling. It's and it's like, I mean, there's like some truth to what you're saying, but a lot of, like, okay, this is mildly offensive, so I'll be careful with my wording here. But you can tell from the human history that most people need something to guide them. They need something or someone to guide them. The fact that Europe, and, you know, by that extent, most of civilization had, you know, kings and queens for so long, it was just accepted, like, oh yeah, there's just a dude in charge, he runs everything. If he runs it too bad, eventually I guess we can revote. But, you know, we just accept that he's the guy in charge. That's a thing right there. That's a pretty absurd thought, that, like, oh, there's oh, by the way, a bunch of subscribers coming in. Thank you very much. Yeah, by the way, there was 13 other people in the first election, and they all wanted George to win. Yeah, it feels a bit like the, you know, the Communist Party elections, where it's like, in North Korea, in China too, actually, there's 8 other parties, or 9, or there's some small number of other parties, but they're all only allowed to run on Chinese Communist Party approved manifestos, and it's like, that's not how elections work. You can't have... it's because they need an opposition to blame. Oh, a lot of villages stage democracy in China. It's a whole problem thing. Okay, so yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy in my opinion that we once decided an election by flipping a coin. But what I think might just be crazier, or at least it's funnier, it might not be crazier, is at one point, it was last election, I think, 2015 or 17, like one of the last 2 elections in the UK. We actually had this thing where I think it was they're the TUV. They're a really, really niche far-left party. This party, like in one of the seats they're running, they only run a few seats, they got 1 vote. And the guy was like, I demand recount. And they're like, look, it's fine, you got 1 vote. And it's like, look, I voted for me, and I know my wife voted for me, so we need a recount. And I think they did the recount, and they can, or maybe they didn't, because like that's not enough to go on. But like, imagine that, knowing in your heart of hearts, if you did vote for yourself, that your wife, even your wife, who is committed to this cause too, didn't vote for you. By the way, big thank you, Jackalope Plays, for the $2 super chat. I spent my last $2. I'll get more though. I know, I love that idea personally. Just the guy being like, I mean, but who didn't vote for me? And his wife is just there like, wow, yeah, let's make sure we get to the bottom of this real quick. So, I think this is a bit too close to the mountain here, by the way. Like, we're really, really close. So I might end up destroying this part of the mountain. So just keep that in mind. Actually, wait, is that... No, we're not going to hit contact, it's fine. But in 1820, James Monroe ran that opposition. Yeah, it's been a really common thing for most of history in a lot of countries. Like, just, you know, democracy without opposition. In America, there's, like... America's the most expensive democracy to buy. Like, every vote costs an absurd amount in America. But yeah, in spite of that fact, in spite of the fact that, like, any chance to gain power is a huge thing, there are still 25 to 27. It's varies every year, but there's still like one every 20 seats or so. One of the 2 parties doesn't run. Like either the Democrats don't run or the Republicans don't run. And it's like, man, that is crazy. And I like this side of politics of just like, you know, someone's got some dirty laundry they need to get out there. And it's funny that they kind of can't. So, yeah, we're gonna keep on placing these dirt pathways. We'll work on the bamboo in a second. We just need more bamboo before we can do that, surprisingly enough. Because I know if we don't have bamboo in so long, someone's going to be like, hey, Toy Cat, you said this was bamboo farming for XX minutes, but when was the last time you even grabbed bamboo? Ooh, there we go. What's your opinion on daylight savings in America? Why not daylight savings in the world? And the answer to that question is, daylight savings is the most ridiculous thing that we do just because we've always done it. Again, you know how I said, there's this weird bias where if you don't know about a subject, there's usually 1 or 2 things you know, and you assume that's everything there is to know. Like, I don't know about theoretical physics, or I don't know about quantum physics, but I do know about that cat that's half in the box, half out, and I know that when you observe something, it changes it, so therefore God isn't real or something, you know, like, it's an interesting thing to look at as American, I agree. It's an interesting thing that, like, in every major field, there's, like, just a big piece of knowledge that everyone assumes is everything to know. And I think when it comes to daylight savings, everyone's like, oh, yeah, farmers need that extra hour in the morning. And it's like, even if that was true, which it's kind of questionable if it is the reason we instigated it, it's like, why should farmers change the clocks for the rest of us? Why can't they just wake up an hour early? Imagine how ridiculous this would be if I was like, oh, yeah, so I've got this proposal, you know, big government. I stream at midnight UK. It's 1 a.m. right now. And honestly, I'd rather be streaming at 11 p.m. I could stream earlier, sure. But could we just change the clocks so that 11 p.m. is midnight? Like, can you... That's so absurd. You can't just say, oh, here's this thing. I want it to be something else. Now it's something else. But you can with clocks. That's how it is. We change the clocks and we pretend we've changed the time. But that's not how time works. That's not how clocks work. That's not how any of this works. 1, 2, 3, 4. And yeah, it drives me a little bit crazy. But what doesn't drive you crazy in 2018? Am I right? Exactly. So we should probably want to place that there. We're making some pretty good progress here, by the way. But we're going to go down now. Actually, wait, let's place the redstone first. It's just too easy. Back when the law was proposed, the majority of the population were farmers, so it made sense. I don't think there's been... I mean, I guess in, like, the 1700s, maybe. But it's been a really long time since that other thing. Time is a social construct, man. I know it sounds like I'm saying that, but, like, it is, right? Time is a social construct. So why do we change it and pretend that we've actually changed something? it just seems absurd. What do you think about, says FFFFF? I just had a shower, and I couldn't stop thinking about, like, man, when was the last time I washed behind my ears? And I was like, oh, probably a couple weeks ago. Is it, like, if your ears don't feel dirty, should you wash them anyway? Can ears get dirty? Like, these are all questions I had. And I think the easy answer is, like, I guess sort of, and also sort of not at the same time. Also, this looks really weird in ghetto, but it works, okay? That's why we use it. Yeah, it's coming around again. So we're going to chop down a bunch more bamboo. Again, this is my bamboo farm until the automatic stuff works. Then we'll be able to do things easily. I thought daylight savings time was because of the world wars. Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I learned about the history for a video recently. I don't know why I believe that guy who said. See, did you see that? Did you see that right there? A guy just assumed because he'd heard at one point it was for farmers. Oh yeah, back then majority of the population was farmers. That's not true. He just assumed. He's like, I know this one thing, therefore I know it must have been for this reason. And I accepted it, and I'm sure a lot of you, the majority of you, also just accepted that, right? Like, isn't that absurd? But that's how we do it with a lot of different things. Basically, the first daylight savings was Imperial Germany during World War I, and it's for the most, like, ridiculous garbage reasons. They, or not garbage, but, like, ridiculous, like, propaganda reasons, I would say. So, in Imperial Germany during World War I, they had a serious coal shortage. So they figured, okay, we'll try and get, like, households to use less coal by shifting the clocks. And that way, people will wake up later and use, like, if you wake up when it's light, you don't need to use coal to heat your house and everything. Like, the logic was people use less energy if you shift the clocks. It was nothing to do with farmers. Exactly right. See? That's my point. Like, but, like, because I just mentioned it and someone's like, oh, back then the population were farmers, so it would have made sense to do it for farmers. Like, I knew it wasn't for farmers, but then it's like, oh, okay, so it's not too illogical. But then it's like, my God, like, I was just talking about a thing, and we got an example that basically tricked me. I just believed the guy. I was like, oh, I mean, sounds like he knows what he's talking about. He had no idea what he was talking about. He made it up on the spot. On the spot. Maybe he believed it even. I don't even know, honestly. But, yeah, I think, to bring this back to my point, there's this really, kind of weird thing. Is this a prequel to Placing Dirt at Noon? That's a good sequel stream idea. Full bracket spring forward. That still doesn't help me, because what does clocks falling back mean? But yeah, so going back to what I was previously saying. Germans are now all farmers. Yeah, right. It's this thing where people way over, like, once you know a little bit, you overassume your knowledge, and you think you know a lot. People who actually know what they know in a field know they don't know everything. People who know the tiniest amount think they know everything, and it's a really damaging human problem. And I'm sure it has some, like, evolutionary purpose. Like, oh yeah, Australia once misplaced the Prime Minister. Oh, yeah, that's true, actually. If you don't know this, if you're not from Australia, I guess it's not commonly known. During one of the last, like, 70 years or so, a Prime Minister in Australia went for a swim and then went missing. This sounds like some fake thing. No, a Prime Minister went for a swim, told his bodyguards to go away, and then got drowned or something. We've never found the body. He just... a Prime Minister just went missing. And, like, can you imagine that in any other country? Like, oh yeah, so the US President's just gone for a quick stroll around the park, and then he never comes back, and they're like, ooh, at what point should we call his pet? Like, ooh, we feel responsible for this one. So, we name a swimming pool after him. Yeah, because... Wait, do you really name a swimming pool after, like, the Prime Minister who, like, died because he got swept away by the sea? Because I feel like... Actually, that makes sense, because I guess if he went to those swimming pools, he wouldn't have, like, drowned or gone missing. Still feels a bit, thing. The more you learn about a subject, the more you realize you don't know, says Stejo. Yeah, exactly, I agree with that. The more you know, the more you realize the more you realize there's so much more to learn. And this is why the news in particular is so bad, because they have to be so general knowledge to pretend to be experts about things. Because people want to hear from pretend experts. They don't want to hear from random dude on the street. So, a lot of news stories, like, they have to pretend to be an expert. Like, oh yeah, so this was a really dangerous landing on runway 08LL, and as you can see, they almost died. Everyone was almost killed in a fiery explosion. It's like, whoa. A few steps went missing there. So, Kat, do you think fake news is a real issue? I think the idea of fake news is way more damaging than actual fake news. Because, you know, there is a real thing called fake news. But there's more stuff that calls itself fake news. People don't want to actually learn, they just want to know. Yeah, that's why, I'd agree with that one, Steeja. That's a good way to put it. There's a real problem in that, like, learning is seen as awful, mostly because our school system isn't very good at making people feel good about what they learned. I don't know what it is, but, like, I would say school, you know, most people are unsatisfied with the schooling, whatever. If you go to an area you haven't been, new villages and cats will spawn there. Yeah, that's what I had to do, personally. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I've always, I put a lot of effort into trying to make, like, why I enjoy learning and, like, oh, okay. Good thing I survived that one, eh? So, Cat, do you think you need to make a new world to get new features? No. You just have to generate new chunks in your existing world. It's just in my case, I can't go in one direction because I've already generated it that way for a long time. I'm really hoping at some point the Nether changes, so I have a million blocks of old Nether to fly for at some point. That'd be kind of fun. So, why are you doing this? Why does anyone do anything? There's a good counterpoint for you. But, hey, to get I'm new to the channel, I just want to say thank you. You inspire me to get back into Minecraft and have fun in my world. Or even, I love your building videos, I've taught you building techniques. So I'd like to clarify, I'm not the best for learning everything about building or whatever. But I'm glad that, like, some of the videos inspired you, because I know we do a lot of slightly oddball stuff on the channel. But that's what Minecraft should be about, like, you know, seeing some oddballs. Like, every now and then I see people try to act like there's one homogenous way to build or to play Minecraft or whatever. It's like, no. How do you select blocks without opening your inventory whilst using the controller? Like you would with the middle click and a mouse, says Matthew Williams. You have to assign it. There's a button in the options, the controller options. It's called Pick Block. Mine is up on the D-pad. You can also do code... Oh, what is Code Builder? Let's press down. Oh, doesn't do anything. I guess it's Education Edition. But, how big is the space taken up on your PC by your world, says Chef Roach? It's 700 megabytes right now. Like, this is getting close to a gig. I kind of want to put it on Realms just to see if, like, a Realm can handle that. Because that's got to be a lot of storage cost for a month. Building is... So, what's the IMA off a block and attack or... Oh, I don't know what that even is. Where do you live? What's your favourite part about it, says Tony Augusta. I live in the UK, and I really like the... Like, at least I like the part of the UK I live in. I honestly, like... My country as a whole, like, it's cool. I like it's familiar. But I really like my particular region of the UK. It's just really well connected. Like, if I want to get places, I can get there really fast. While still feeling like I live in a fairly smallish area. I know, I like that it's a mix of all the things I like in the world. And it's also super close to close. So, sorry, I like that I'm close to airports and stuff. So, yeah, basically, how are you doing that? The blocks in front of me and down. It's a Bedrock feature. I guess a lot of people must be finding the stream for the first time. But on Bedrock, you can just do this. It's easy. It's fun. It's great. The shortest term served by an Australian Prime Minister is a week. Australia's had this big problem where Prime Ministers keep serving down. I like your country too, but I haven't even been there. There's a lot of things to love about the UK. It's a good country. Top 10 country, easily. But, if you could live in any US state, which one would you live in? The default answer is California for most non-Americans. But no, I think I'd pick one that was... Again, I need to get the same things I get from where I live in the UK, which is, like, well-connected. So probably, like, I don't know, like a New York or, like, somewhere like that. Because, yeah, that's what I have to do. Would be kind of important. Okay, we're flying. It's good. We're all good today. Okay, so let's go get some more bamboo. As you can see, the bamboo farm just keeps on growing up, which is good because we can keep on chopping it down. You should move. Again, everyone always recommends a state, and I'm always like, you know, we'll deal with this one some other time. So, I swear your live streams are the ultimate Q&A Saturdays, says Jury and Daniel channel. Yeah, they are. A lot of people still though get mad that I didn't answer every question because I think I try to be super interactive with chat on most streams, but I think it's a it's not good to do only Q&A. So whenever I spend a second doing anything that's not answering someone's question, or even if I spend every second answering questions, it's like, well, you didn't get to mine, so Q&A, you know, this thing sucks. But yeah, no, I like it. It's good to feel what we're feeling, see what we're seeing, etc. But basically, how did you get bamboo in your old world? You just have to kill pandas, man. It's easy. It's easy. But you know, I was honestly thinking about so as well as like, you know, people are just bad at trying to work out. People are just really bad at working out. You know, like what they know about things. Because the more you know about things, the less you know about things. It sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Like, you know, if you spend a year studying something, and then you realize that you've only touched the surface, you realize it takes a lifetime to learn everything. Whereas if you spend 10 seconds learning something, then it's like a thing. Kill pandas to say. Yeah, actually, you know, I should start a campaign video for that. I think Microsoft will hate me a bit, but, you know, they cut contact a long time ago. So, here's an idea. I'll make a video called Kill Pandas to Save Pandas. And it's going to be like a charity campaign, but like, do you want to save pandas in the real world? Do you think this guy needs pandas? Well, clearly the best solution is to kill pandas. Because that's legit true. Like, you have to kill pandas to save pandas. It's the only way, or the most effective way at least. Use a sword for bamboo. They're both just as effective. Like, I know it might be some slight difference or whatever. I think it might make sense to use the shovel more than anything else. It's instant break. Oh, it's instant. It's not. It's look at that. That is the opposite of instant break. We have to work out our definitions and and synchronize them maybe. As you can see, anytime any of these grows to 3, they all get destroyed. It's a fun system. But yeah, just to show you. Okay, here's a sword. This is not instant break. What world do you live in where this counts as instant break? What is wrong with you, collective chat high mind? Whereas the shovel, look at this. There you go. Shovel better than sword. Now we know, chat. It's because it has efficiency on, by the way. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, parrot friend. Oh, I'm very sorry, parrot friend. Did not mean to do that. Yeah, the missing Prime Minister was Harold Hytale. Also, a big thank you, Communist Flesh Eater for 279 Canadian super chat. Now that's a high quality name right there. That is a high quality name right there. Thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate it, man. Those Canadian dollars. You know, my favorite American state is Canada. Like, that's offensive to Americans and Canadians, but it's true. Agnes Capon says, "Rest in peace, parrot." Look, I didn't mean to kill the parrot. The parrot was just like kind of there, had to die. Like, mistakes were made. Okay, we all accept that. It's all good. But I was thinking about not only how people are like kind of bad at working out what they know about things, but also I feel like everyone has a weird conception of good and evil, and I think that's because like in a real world we have to accept not everyone can know everything, so we should have like beginner knowledge for everything. Like, do you not know about politics? All you need to know is that there's 2 sides. Did you know that one of those sides is actually, you know, neither of those sides are objectively evil or objectively stupid. They have different worldviews. Wow, now you know how not to get in a race war or whatever. Because, you know, the default politics view is usually like, oh yeah. If you're taught into a left-wing perspective, it's like, oh yeah. So there are evil people we fight against every year that literally want to kill people, and there's us. And then on the right side, it's if you're brought into politics by a right-leaning person, your parent, whatever, it's like, we got lazy people who just really want to run a country into the ground, and that's why we fight every December to get them out. And it's like, man, you just, like, can't we just teach everyone, like, okay, 2 sides, work out what you like, easy as that. Boom. If everyone just knew that, we'd have a more robust system. Like, I think every system, you know, instead of, like, I think the concept of carbs being bad, again, it's not actually too bad a system because, okay, if you eat less carbs, you'll probably be healthier, on average, for instance. That's horribly inaccurate, says adding Scopen. I'm not sure if you mean, like, my thing saying there was 2 sides to every issue, or if you mean, like, how people are taught into it. But it's how so many people seem to view things. Like, it seems as though, especially if you look at Twitter, because it seems to, like, segregate into, like, why did you make your right-leaning person sound like an idiot? No, I meant, like, people who okay, my opinion is anyone who tries to indoctrinate anyone else into their opinion is an idiot. Not an idiot. Is I don't like you. Like, if you think that your worldview is so important, someone else has to believe it. Like, okay, I have a few apolitical friends, and whenever, like, they're like, so what's the deal with this? Or, like, you know, because there's a few subjects friends are like, so, you know, we know you travel a lot or whatever, so what's the deal with this? I never jump into it and say, well, here's my opinion, and I'm going to explain it to you, like, correct? I'm like, here's the issue, and then it's seen by this way, by this side, and that way, by that side. If you don't understand both sides to an issue, you usually don't understand the issue. So that's how I feel like it's best to explain it to people. But people who are just, like, always ranting about their opinions. I have a couple of friends like this. You know, trying to be like, oh, but there's lazy this and that. And it's like, man, what is wrong with things? It's not even being neutral. It's just like, no, at least understand both opinions before forming it, in my opinion. Also, we're not going to go on the is water wet thing again. It's bad. But my point there was just that, like, we need to have better base knowledge for new systems. Like, in my opinion, like, again, if everyone, instead of learning from a, you know, a probably less than stellar person, yeah, it'd be nice which, like, oh yeah, there's some good base knowledge for this. So, like, it's in my opinion, it's fine that people learn that, like, carbs are literally poison. Like, whatever, eating less carbs is probably a good thing, but it should be really quickly taught afterwards, like, oh yeah, so it's actually, they're very cost effective, they're very helpful for most people in most situations, and cutting them out altogether versus only having a little bit, there's no difference, you know, it's like, so Kat, your face is an issue, so can you turn around so I can see the other side? Okay, J Davis, bro, just for you. Also, thoughts on the Madeline McCann case. So I'm going to speak to the thoughts this way. So, oh, there was the thoughts on the Madeline McCann case. That was good stuff. I don't like the idea of having only two opposing sides and how American politics works. I pre-registered votes independent my last birthday. Oh yeah, I should clarify, like, every issue has a lot more than two actual sides, but they coalesce into, like, two major coalitions, generally speaking. Obviously, again, I find what's way more interesting is learning, like, the weird niche side points of, like, oh, they feel this way about that. That's kind of bizarre. Anyway, so, sand is dry. Anyway, my point here is I was just trying to say that, like, every field should have, like, a better base knowledge on it. Like, you know how everyone learns, like, oh yeah, there's good and evil. It's like, I mean, that works, but it's also like, oh, that's... So now you believe that people you don't like can be evil? It should be more like, oh yeah, well, I mean, you know, morality's confusing, and some people are good at it, some people are bad at it. Carbs are fantastically nutrient dense, but if you can, you're probably better cutting them. The issue is, in order to get the correct nutrients from meat, you need to be eat offal? What is offal? One sec. I've never heard that term before. The entrails and internal organs. Okay, well, that's, I eat haggis, which is basically probably an offal. I mean, that sounds like science to me, thank you very much. But, yeah, so, going back to our previous thing. I feel like every subject needs to have, like, a better bit of... I don't know how to even do that, either, because, like, it's such a societal thing. You can't just flip your fingers and, you know, like how you can kill half the universe. You can't do that and make everyone more informed. But I wish, like, that's how, like, base subjects were explained better. Topic change. Yeah, I think we accidentally, I was trying to say how, like, everyone sees the politics thing and, like, tries to scare people. I think I accidentally... I managed to offend everyone on both sides of that one, so that's a bad sign. Or a good sign. Maybe it's perfect. Basically, live heart, etc. Man, I don't know what it is, but I am so, like... I love meat, and I'm also horrific at eating animals. Like... Every time I'm reminded that animal is animal, I have a real problem eating it. So this, I know this is like basically like a kid train of thought, but like the moment, like I seeing like a live animal, like farm or whatever, you know how there's those steakhouses where you can see them kill the cow in front of you or whatever? That sounds awful to me. I don't want the link between, you know, cow murder and tasty steak being made. I just want tasty steak, you know? Is that too much to ask? My girlfriend's the exact same. Like, so whenever I cook chicken, I still to this day, if you don't, so when I was in science class, we dissected, like, chicken from the supermarket. It was a bizarre idea. I don't know why my science teacher, did it that way. But, that's a thing. But, one of the things that, again, this sounds ridiculous. You might assume I'm exaggerating, but I have genuinely never cooked like actual raw chicken. Like I always get like a chicken shaped like something else. Because it just, man, it's like pink. It looks like real flesh of something. You know, okay, this is crazy. You know turkey? People buy it in like full-on turkey form. That's wild to me. Like, man, that's, you can see that's a bird almost. So we're going to do this the old way, by the way. It's going to be great. It's even worse when you visit those slaughterhouses. But yeah, it's a whole messy thing. Also, yeah, no, it is awful is a, you know, there's a lot of awful things when it comes to animals. I've said this before. Key thing, it should be just known. The amount of lives and quality of life that can be saved at the same time from creating fake meat is huge. Because what does everyone do? You know, there's a list of things like 5 lines long. It's like everyone breathes, everyone eats, everyone drinks water, everyone sleeps, and like, I don't know, everyone does bad things sometimes, you know. Everyone lies. There you go. I bring a house reference in there. But everyone eats all the time, and people need protein. Protein's really hard to get from sources other than meat. I know you can do it. I know a lot of vegans do successfully do it. I'm proud of those people. That's great. But, I mean, most people, most of the time, everyone poops. I mean, that's actually not true, right? I mean, maybe our lactose intolerant friend could confirm for us how that's going. But no, I guess everyone does. Oh, no, if you get, what's it even called? I've seen videos of this. You can get, like, a butthole in your stomach. But it's not a butthole. It, like, poop just comes out from you into a bag. And it's not actually pooping. So, checkmate there. I don't like still eating animals, but I dislike eating any meat that's still pink. I should clarify, my one exception to this rule is steak, which I'll eat. Like, I'll eat a raw steak if I'm told by someone who actually knows their stuff that eating raw steak is fine. I'd eat raw steak. Because, like, you know, I know blue steak is a big thing. A gastric bypass. It's got a really specific term. But you took out, that sounds very fake. No, it's a really common thing. It's a bag you carry around with you that you fills with all your poop. Okay, chat. Someone has to save me on this one. What's that bag called? What is it? There's a way to get your, oh, whatever. You know what? This is awful. This is a bad subject. I think I've killed everyone with the stomach butthole idea. A colonoscopy bad? Yeah, colonoscopy. I think it is colonoscopy. There we go. We got there eventually. Want to know? Okay, so colonoscopy. Yeah, it's colonoscopy bag. Like, those people don't poop. Checkmate there. But no, my best paint was just like that. A lot of, in the same way that, like, you know, what is the biggest issue facing the world right now? World hunger. And it's like, I mean, what's the biggest issue facing the world right now? Like, probably, you know, like proper sanitation. Probably, you know, like, I don't know, properly, you know, distributing food. Properly doing stuff. Like, there are so many big issues. It's like, okay, so this, oh no, see, this is going somewhere controversial. I tracked it in my mind and I stopped it. You see that? Saved us. Again, we almost went somewhere vaguely political, at least American style political. Not really other countries, but like I feel like that should also be a big thing actually. Like, what our perception of the biggest issues are always changes based on like what issue you last heard. I feel like. Also, what just happened to that cow? I really don't know. I just went to tweet and I hear poop stuff being discussed here. We're gonna move on. It's all good. Those bags are connected to where those people's intestines are, so it might be pooping depending on your definition. I mean, I feel like, you know, let's not. We're gonna move on. GM crops are fantastic, but folk don't like them because of scam wrong in the 90s. I think it was the 90s. Yeah, this is so GM, first of all, everything's modified in some way, right? Like, we all know that. I think it's fairly common knowledge. Oh, I want to get some string and make some more of these scaffolds. All the way to sky height. Let's do it. But, so changing subject, Rue says, so then honest question, once you know more about several sides to initial subject, how do you choose a definitive stance and stick fit without apologizing for everything strong, you'd say? Once you know everything about once you know enough about a subject to feel like you have a definitive opinion, I think it's important to then, again, you make it sound like apologizing is like a bad thing, but like, it's fine in my opinion to be like, oh yeah, here's what I know about this subject. Obviously, I appreciate not everyone agrees, but here's why I think. Here's what brought me to this logic from here. Everyone always starts at assuming everyone knows everything and moving on from there. Although again, it's bad to be half educated, but like, you know, on the surface, it should be like, oh yeah, I believe this because, you know, like I think this, that, that. But then be ready to actually explain and properly protect your opinions, and I think that's fine. So we're gonna make a. By the way, here's a fun fact: you can actually climb these towers. You can build these towers while climbing them. Look at this. This is fun. Oh, that's not good. Okay, apparently it's fine. let's build it as we jump up though. Right, I'm gonna make great dinner. Thank you for the chat. I was good to say hello, Steve. One sec. You've got a verified technician name. I want to see what your channel is. Stijo.
So it's finally time.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Wait. I thought it was Runescape. Oh, it's EU4. Hey, you love the It's one of those games I've always wanted to get into, but it's like a life-consuming thing, right? Like you get into it, and then your life is gone. My favorite sound is the piston on a 3-tick clock. That's very specific. All this in no religion thing. You can't. Okay, so at least politics. I don't like talking politics because it's a thing, but at least politics, everyone goes into with some potential to change their mind. You can't change a lot of people's minds about politics, but you might be able to at least change why they believe it or help them understand why you believe your thing. Whereas, you know, if you get like a Hindu and a Buddhist or a Hindu and a Christian next to each other, maybe they help understand each other a bit better. But you can't have great, it's one of the few discussions you don't come into expecting to change your mind or having any want to. EU4 will ruin your life. It's the only game you need. I do a massive variety. Anyway, good night. Oh, sorry, I only saw the EU4 video. And I assumed, I assume that's why you made your way here. But yeah, thank you very much for coming along, man. Always good to have a good chat. What are you doing? This is placing scaffolding, and I was promised placing bamboo, says Melon Cassia. Okay, you're not, just for you. Just for you. We're going to go back to bamboo placing. Much better. So we placed something like, okay, so it's a stack on each side, and we've gone up like 5 or 6 layers. We've placed about 1,000 bamboo so far. So I've already done like, 1/1000th of the bamboo for the whole thing. Which is good. Go me, right? Saving the world. But yeah, so, to go back to my kind of other thing, I just wanted to say that, I think it's important whenever you have an opinion on something that you know isn't objective, it's subjective, to always accept that, like, it's good to be passionate, I think, but it's also bad to, there's a whole bunch of arguing techniques you've got to learn not to do. Yeah, like, I agree with Casey, like, you be down to change your mind. If you take your opinions as fact, as unchanging fiction, or, whatever you want to say it as, it's a whole thing. Snapshots let you instant bamboo, mine bamboo, that's why we said you could. Oh, is that a glitch or is that intentional? Yeah, it's weird. There's so many weird differences between Bedrock and Java when it comes to bamboo, I've noticed. There's a lot of them. It's a whole thing. Someone asked about Brexit. That's the big no-no discussion of the day. Every now and then I make like a Brexit video on the second channel just to explain where it's at. But the truth is that like there's no fun way to talk about it. You just incite. Again, I've tried many times on the internet. Oh, we went too high on this layer. Guess we gotta build down. Guess we gotta build down. Just like that. Good thing I caught it rather than having the mistake be enshrined forever. So I can see him replying to people right underneath me. I don't actually pick people based on their position in the chat. I guess I kind of do actually. You're pretty wrong. You're pretty right there. Jacob Ortiz asked what height am I planning to go to? Quite high, I imagine. Oh yeah, but so let's go back by the way to like things that I think like the base knowledge of should change. I think fast food definitely, right? Like sometimes, food needs to be fast. I think if you look at Japan as like a good sign of the future on this. I know people hate when I say Japan's the future, but I like Japan. I think Japan's good. Come on, agree. Japan does some futuristic stuff. It does it well. So when you look at Japan, you can see that like, oh yeah, everyone eats out all the time. It's just the fastest way to do things. Like the idea of cooking yourself is just inefficient, really, when you think about it. Oh, so before we go, should we switch to the new textures? Christian Larson says he's used to them. Let's give it a real quick try, because then I can show you how big the world file size is too. Because it goes up and down every time I load in and out of the world, like a lot. Bamboo is my religion. Everyone else is wrong, even if bamboo is also their religion. I'm gonna switch to the new textures real quick because I haven't actually seen them in Bedrock yet. What's your favorite song? Well, I remember about Japan is "Hello on the Promise of Japan" because oh god, that's a weird meme, I guess. But yeah, no, like I think stuff like fast food is like, yeah, it's fast. Don't eat it too much though, or like again, I wish it was just in everyone's mind, like everything in moderation applies to like 99% of the universe. You know? Should you play Minecraft for 12 hours in a row? No, you'll lose your sanity. Should you sometimes asterisk on that one. You know, the answer to like, oh yeah, should you eat carbs in moderation? Don't eat too many, you know, of those in a row. That's a bad idea. You know, what's the deal with you know, like politics? Don't talk about it all day. What's the deal with, I don't know, like pick any big thing, and the answer is probably like exercise. You know, do a bit more. Everyone could benefit from exercise in moderation. Go extreme when you know what you're doing, but if you don't know what you're doing, assume moderation. Oh, by the way, big thank you, Communist/Eater, for the 2 Canadian 79 super chat. Any advice for starting out a Minecraft channel? I would say, because Minecraft is a really tricky one to break into these days. Find a niche, maybe a niche you like that exists already, that you think you can do better or different, or maybe create a new niche. Like, why aren't there channels that focus exclusively on X or Y and try and work that in there? That'd be my plan. My cat curs asleep with me, just letting people know. I mean, I'm glad there's at least... so really the viewer count is inaccurate because it's not counting your cat, is what you're saying there. Darn viewer count screwing us again. Okay, so somewhere in here we have the new Minecraft textures. Texture update pack. Official base texture pack. So this is what my Let's Play world looks like with the new textures. I'm gonna do a full review of this at some point because I review texture packs in this world, so it'll be fun to like see things change a bit. Too much is the exact amount that is excessive. That's a Stephen Fry quote, apparently. It's a great... the thing is, going excessive on stuff is a good idea in sometimes, in specific cases. But going to excess without knowing what you're doing is always bad. Like, you know, spending money. If you spend too much money, sometimes it's okay to spend a lot of money. Like, when you buy a house, it costs 6 digits, at least in the UK. But, you know, it's fine. You might need a house. It's a financially sound decision. If you buy 1,000 or like, I don't know, 100 Big Macs a day because you sleep on... You need Big Macs to sleep for some reason. You fill a cushion of Big Macs and you cuddle it, and it costs you £500 or like £300 a day, and you're going in huge amounts of debt because you just need to cuddle these Big Macs. It's like, that's a sign you gotta stop. Moderation on the big... Like, maybe if you really need to hug these Big Macs once a month, you know, once a year, work out the right amount. Not every day, you know, there's balance and everything, you know. I'd argue that buying a house is not an excessive decision. I think it's an excessive decision. Like, it's a huge purchase you can make, like, one-off in your life. Maybe twice if you're lucky. It's a huge, huge decision, in my opinion. Goodbye, Toy Cat, man boy. Is that a compliment or an insult? I honestly don't know. It could be either. It really could be either. I know a lot of these are made often, but I spend a lot of time stream practicing, etc. I've streamed daily for 3 months, but rarely gained viewers. If you could turn on notice... Oh, no, it's a... Oh, it was... Okay, you know, that's an instant block forever. What a monster. What an absolute monster. Oh, there's no... I can just put them in hydrogen on this channel. There we go. Oh, that's the worst. Like, people self-promoting yourself. Like, let me say the one thing. People, like... You know how he said he's been doing it for 6 months? He's been promoting himself for 6 months on all these streams. Notice how it doesn't work. But it's super rude regardless. There are a few situations where that's a thing to do. Because it's like... Okay, so tip for small YouTubers. Like, the problem with doing it that way is then you're going to make a lot of people who are just like... Oh, it's like that guy, I think his name is like Lispy something. Lispy Leaf. And like, everyone hates him. He's well known for that. And, I mean, I guess it comes down to, like, do you want to be hated? Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, to finish on my thing, everything in excess, like, when you're having fun with something, do it, like, it's fine. Like, okay, so, for instance, people who drink to excess every single day of the week, you're not having fun at that point. It's just a thing that is happening, right? Like, you know, like, it's just a whole thing. When you're, I don't know, eating this, or when you're playing games for 15 hours and not talking to people, even like doing not something to excess is crazy. Like if you're not speaking to people for months at a time because you just you feel like screw it, check yourself. Be like, do I need to speak to a person? Is that bad for me? Is that like socially damaging? Am I going to need to do so in the future? Like planning all that stuff. But yeah, the new update loads really slow now. My world just loads crazy slow, in general. Like it's a whole thing. So Cat, please, I want to know if I can see that. Are you going to Sorcon? So I thought that was like a weird pun they're trying to make. What is Sorcon? I actually want to know now. Sorcon. Oh, it's an internet meme. Ah, you tricked me. You tricked me. I mean, I think in my accent it doesn't sound good enough. Maybe like Americans say like saw. Oh yeah, I guess they do. Yeah, they go like saw. And then like it's like Sarcon, and it's like I, and then you say these nuts. We got it. You got me. I've never heard that one before. I am. Someone said earlier like I was out there in my memes. Apparently I am. You got me. So I'm not sure if Minecraft is working right now. By the way, opinions on Hytale. Yeah, there's a game being made by Hypixel, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. I don't know why I assumed, like, what would a Sorcon be? A convention for swords? Like, why would you need that, That doesn't even make any sense. Also, it's like your favorite series is Cassie. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad. I've tried turning off and on again. If I do so, it'll just take forever. At some point, it's worth trying, but it's a whole thing. So is that okay? You're a madman. Like, it bugs me a bit. I was thinking the movie series Saws. Yeah, I was thinking that a little bit, but I was like, okay, so it can't be about Saw, because like, why would I be at the Saw convention? Join Discord. It's an emergency. Midway through a stream. What is the, like, you gotta have a good reason to tell me midstream. What's the, like, you gotta, what's the scoop? You gotta give me something. You can't just be like, there's an emergency. Like, you can't. So yeah, at what point do we assume it's broken, by the way? Because I think, like, now maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna assume it's broken, right? It might load. That's the problem. It might load. Okay. Oh. So what? Okay. Why am I? Why, like, what am I helping for? What? Anyway. I get it now. That's terrible. That's not even funny. I'll agree. It's totally both those things. So we're gonna exit out. We're gonna reload it up, and it's gonna be all fine. Man, that's like, it's really hard, like, trying to like be public while also trying to like read stuff, because like this whole time it's like dealing with and going through stuff. Patience is a virtue. Having too much patience is just as bad as having too little patience. Both of the extremes are bad for you, unless you know you got a good reason to be. See? Moderation. Everything in moderation except moderation. Go extreme on your moderation. Like, be an extremist moderate. An extremist moderate. Moderate has different implications. I don't mean it like that. I mean, like, be an extremist moderation. Be yeah, whatever. So it's all good. One sec. Okay, it's nothing. So someone, what am I? Oh, by the way, the Minecraft is just a black screen now. So this is so we switch out to Toy Cat with a here's my earpiece, by the way. It's shaped like an ear roughly. Again, it's like, it says it's Sony. These are just the cheapest things I found at the airport. So yeah, Minecraft is just a black screen right now. It's a good. Oh wait, we've got a scene but reverse. So that's Minecraft. It's reverse for me. This is obviously quality content, but then again, it is for a good cause. Exactly, I'm saving pandas right now. Being moderate is my religion. You know, I worship moderation sometimes too. So yeah, we'll get there eventually. It's gone white now. That's like a solid improvement. Love a good bit of white screen. You're allowed to say you like white screens. I hope you're allowed to say that. Oh, so here's a cool thing. The new Minecraft loading screen. This you might not have spotted this. What is today's toy cat t-shirt? I have a toy cat t-shirt. It's a bit worn out. Like it feels really rough. I don't know. I'm gonna head to the airport soon, by the way, in like 2.5 hours. So if I slept right now, if I press F9 on the stream, that's my stop stream button, and I went to sleep right now, I'd only have to wake up in, I think, 2 and a bit hours. So, hello, I'm IBX and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to farm bamboo for 90-ish minutes or so. Damn straight, although actually, I think the last, like, 10 have been just broken. It's all good. It looks like those things, the audio. Yeah, it used to be, I don't know what, Minecraft Bedrock used to have something that used this same... Oh, wait, big thank you, Jacob Ortiz, for the $1 super chat. Appreciate the appreciation. You love that? I hope you love that. Toycat, could you tell us a story about campfire? I've only had, like, one campfire experience, and it was like, oh, yeah. So we lit a fire because we were camping, and I hate camping beyond belief. Oh, camping. Camping rant, let's do it. Camping is, like, would it be nice if we went back to when everything sucked? If we were cold all night, if we had to spend hours putting together places to live in a field you pay for, using a house you pay for, when you no doubt have a place to live anyway. You know, it's mind-boggling to me that camping is a popular pastime because it's so many bad things. Followed by like, okay, now we're out here in the wilderness, got nothing, no technology, nothing fun. We got nothing going on anywhere, and it's like, okay, so that's a thing, I guess. So let's load up Let's Play, but this time we're gonna try and get the texture pack on. It might just be that the texture pack breaks everything. Like, this is a really big world. Maybe I can't load a texture pack on it. Oh no, it's on there. Okay, let's see if things work, I guess. Have you ever owned a hentai? You got me there too. I got to the end of the a part of me is like feeling complimented. We're getting more of these because it's like, oh, there's more strangers in the stream that don't like me. But on the other hand, it's like, okay, that's a thing. Watch the trailer. It's like, I've watched the trailer. It looks pretty good, man. It looks pretty good. Camping is like camping Call of Duty. It can ruin your day. It is literally, people get together to professionally ruin their day. Also, yeah, it's a huge world. It's just huge. It was 700 megabytes earlier. I don't know where the megabytes went. But, yeah, camping is this experience where you go out of your way to try and ruin your life as much as possible. Like, someone's just there like, okay, what's the best bit about life? Okay, having a nice, comfortable bed. Okay, let's get rid of that. We'll sleep on the floor. Okay, I really like being warm at night. Okay, we'll sleep in the cold with no way to warm ourselves up. Yeah, in the wild, just in the wilderness. Checkmate. What else do you like about the home? I guess I like that you can have a shower every morning, stay hygienic. Oh, we'll stay somewhere where you're just in the wild, you get sweaty every day, and you can't wipe. Oh, that's gonna be good. No sleep, no warmth, no hygiene. What else could make this better though? Okay, so we'll just, I like the food variety where I live. Okay, we'll bring like some terrible camping food with us. We'll burn marshmallows and just basically eat sugar. Oh yeah, that would be good. Let's take away food too. We do have to drink water, I guess, technically. What else can we ruin? Okay, let's try and be as far away from, anything fun as possible. No flushable toilets. That's a big one too. No, wouldn't it be awful if we could flush the toilet? That's the pair of thing. Then on top of all of that, it's like, okay, but it's still not bad enough. Like, we're trying to ruin our life, but how do we make it worse? What if we paid a bunch of money to ruin our life? We'll pay money for a tent. We'll pay money to transport the tent. We'll pay money for sleeping bag. Like, it's so expensive to camp. It's so expensive to camp. You pay for a parking space in a field every day, and it's like last place I stayed was like the price of a hotel to a piece of dirt. Side note: here is my world, but now in the new textures. It doesn't look new, does it? Is it new textures? Am I crazy, or am I just used to them now? Oh, Redstone's new, actually. Yeah, Redstone's definitely new. Okay, so, new Minecraft textures. From this distance, you can't even see them. You should go glamping, says Awesome Fossums. Please tell me what glamping is. I'd love to know that. Clearly you've never been camping. It sounds like you've been dumped in some thirst with nothing. Oh, let me explain to you, actually. So, I am bitter about camping, but I do have a good reason. So, I was told once, okay, so your aunt's having a wedding, and it's in, if you don't know where Cornwall is, a really rural part of the UK, and everyone's going to be staying at a campsite. And I was like, okay, I guess. So we drove for 6 hours to go camping. 6 hours. 6 hours. And then we had there was a tiny one-man tent that's like, oh yeah, so we didn't bring enough tents, so you and your brother are going to share one. The walls of the tent, I don't know what makes this happen, but the walls of the tent, like, they were wet. So I'd wake up with a wet face every morning, and, like, you know, you were constantly hungry, of course, because, you know, they weren't scheduled. You know, and it was always, like, stressful. Everyone's having a bad time. I could hear. Let me tell you. This is too much information. But, you know, even as a 20-something-year-old, hearing your parents in unspeakable things. Again, like, you don't want to. Everyone's experienced it, and everyone thinks that's awful. Also, how do you make glamorous glamping work? Like, what do I need to do to make it a glamp rather than a camp? Like, because my family every, like, year or two are like, oh, let's go camping. It was so much fun last time, because they've forgotten all the bad times, you know? They're getting old or something. They just don't remember how bad it was the last time they camped. So, it's like, oh, let's go camping again. And I'm always like, no. I have PTSD-style flashbacks to it. Would you sleep in a tent or sleep under the stairs if you went camping again? I mean, under the stairs is significantly better. Yeah, made a real vent with electricity to it. See, now that's a cool idea. I guess you need like a generator or something for that. But like even like a battery bank and like a laptop. You know, I feel like it's definitely an idea you could work out. But then if you go on glamorous camping, you know what's way better than glamorous camping? A bad hotel room is so much better than, like, I've stayed in some horrific hotels, and every one of those bad hotels is so much better than camping. Why did you do this to me? I was at a school concert. I stream every Thursday. It's a known quantity. It's you that does this to me. You sleep in a cabin instead of a tent. Oh, a cabin would be wild, actually. I'd love to sleep in a cabin. That'd be a fun experience, a unique one too. That's something I'm down with. Try put entity adding add-ons. Entity adding add-ons. Oh yeah, that's a 1.9 beta thing. Kind of huge. When we were kids, we camped in the garden. That's not a good thing to be too close to. I saw you lose 10 hours of work, says Lovesick. I think a lot of people did. And a lot of people feel the same way about that. Side note, has my Elytra amended yet? It hasn't. But we're on level 1 now. Only 33 levels, then we've got our stuff back again. But, yeah, I guess it'd be caravanning. Yeah, no, I went in the caravan as a kid. That was kind of nice. But the truth is, it's just like, you know, all the best things are not portable. Like, instead of, I don't know, it just seems to me, everyone loves the idea of camping because you can buy something once and bring it around, or like, you know, sorry, caravanning or RVing or whatever. You buy something once and you can bring it around with you. But it's always like, you know, it costs several thousands for one of those. Even renting it costs hundreds of the week. Just like, you know, there are just more efficient ways to stay places. Like, buying a cabin overlooking a mountain or something, that'd be great. Look at this, by the way. It looks crazy. We've placed a lot of bamboo today. You liking it? You liking my bamboo farm? It's going pretty high already. We did some good progress, I think. So let's plant the rest of it. And actually, let's see how much has started harvesting. Actually, you know, we have some redstone. We have some iron. We can make a bunch of pistons. We just need to get some wood. And wood's not hard to get. Let's get some wood. Oh, look at the firework rockets. It's really subtle, actually, this texture pack on Bedrock. Maybe it's not because it's different textures. I know they missed out a few, which is weird. But, very odd. So, yeah, we're going to get ourselves this stuff. And we're going to make a few pistons, maybe. That'd be a fun idea. Everyone loves a good piston or two. Just chop down some spruce trees, because they're here. Why not, you know? You only nerds bring terrible camping foods. I've seen cavers who straight up figured out how to make a fresh pizza out of raw, shelf-stable ingredients on the move. See, I mean, like, that is how it should be. But it's not how it's been in my experience. I love the new textures, but I hate jungle leaves. Oh, jungle leaves are one of my favorites, actually. But yeah, it's weird, like, so many things look the same, and then every now and then something just looks wildly different, and you're like, oh, okay then, I guess that's how it be. Oh, look at my house, it's so odd. Oh god, my house is so different. I'm just too used to it, and it's normal textures. Oh god, things are weird here. Oh man, what is happening? Does the dog have something in its mouth? He doesn't. They have camping in the UK. No, we hadn't worked out how to stay outside in a tent and torture ourselves. Yeah, that's an American concept. No, we're joking. No, it's a fun joke. I'm being hilarious right now. So we'll make a bunch of pistons, and I'll make some more observers. And I'm going to place all of these just to keep the actual instantness going fast. The stone is weird, says Chloe. Yeah, I agree. Look at this stone. Like, oh, man. I like gravel, though. It's improved a little bit. Actually, do I have gravel here still? Like, yeah, the floors... Gravel's a nice improvement. Like, it's rare you get to say that, but gravel has improved. So, yeah, oh, by the way, we're learning about PS4 next Tuesday. Again, I don't know what we're learning about PS4, but I'm potentially excited. Maybe. We'll see. It could be some very good news. It could just be they're doing a holiday update this week. I think that's quite likely, in fact. Because they want to always follow behind Bedrock. It could be that they mean follow behind... Oh! Okay, by a week. That'd be kind of fun. Okay, so as you can see, we now have pretty much the entire row hooked up this way. Which is nice. And then we'll place the rest over here. So, piston, piston. It's actually really easy to, like, place blocks behind bamboo. Which, I'm not sure if that's going to ever be usable. But it's fun to know regardless. Then we'll place the observers facing the other way. I have... oh, yep. Man, I'm reading too much chat. The observers aren't impressed. The observers are definitely not impressed, you're right. So place some observers all the way around the place. And just like this, we now have a huge amount done. Also, we're technically collecting bamboo on this side, but we're just not doing anything with it. Oh no, we're collecting one bit of bamboo. Oh no, we're collecting no bamboo. Okay, that was an inefficient way to do things. So in case you're curious, I'm going to have a huge railway going around this. I just haven't got the iron for it yet. It's a key thing. Is America as evil as Nazi Germany as the USSR if they dropped 2 nuclear weapons on civilian cities? Also, not to mention the air raids and occupations. I like this one as a subject to morality because the easy answer is there is no answer. Like, we've retroactively said that nuclear weapons are never justifiable under any circumstances. But, like, at the time it was just like, oh yeah, we made this thing. Guess we'll drop... Like, because there's so many... Like, we bombed cities so much worse than we nuked them. Like, is it just worse because we used nuclear weapons the one time? Well, by we, I mean the US. But, like, the Western world. You know, I'll say the Allies have some fault for that. But it is the US, so sorry. Or you guys. But, you know, like, is it worse to die, you know, by regular bomb or by nuclear bomb? And the answer's like, I mean, I guess not really much worse. We kind of retroactively made up the myth of like, oh yeah, we should never use these. And it's good that we made up that myth. I'm glad that we think we shouldn't use weapons. It's just an interesting change in morality, right? Again, a good change. It's interesting though. I always want to clarify, like, it's not that I necessarily think that, like, you know, nukes are all good, let's use them everywhere. But that's a big thing. So, what big new challenge, other than this fun, are you planning on doing next, says Chloe? My plan is to place 55,000 blocks of glass in the end. I'm actually doing a little bit of work on it right now. It's a thing you might see somewhat soon. Also, I hope no snow falls and everything. I'm going to try and go to sleep or just get away from here, maybe. Seems like a good idea to me. But yeah, like you say, nuclear fallout makes lands not habitable. But, I mean, Nagasaki and Hiroshima are big cities now. They're big anti-nuclear cities. And, like... Again, I think retroactively we can easily say it was a bad idea. The US shouldn't have done it. But I think looking at the situation at the time, thinking like, oh man, we've just gone through this huge war in Europe, and Japan is being unreasonable. They're not giving up despite knowing they're going to lose. They just wanted to inflict as many casualties on the US as they could. So the US was like, okay, how can we make this go faster? And they killed a lot of people to save a lot more people, potentially. Again, I don't know if they knew it at the time. I don't know if that was their fault. But that's why it's a complex thing. Like, talking about morals and history, it's easy to think, this is how we know it now, that's how we know it then. And if you apply modern morals to most of history, then everything we've ever done, pretty much as a species, has been pretty garbage. And that, like, I think that's a fair statement to make. Like, yep, we do a lot of garbage things. But it's also like, if you try to talk too much about history being garbage, you forget about the present, and that's kind of important. Anyway, so with that said, I want to check out the rest of this world in a kind of comparison between new and old. I probably will do that on Sunday when I get back from Malta, because in 2 hours now, I'm leaving to the airport. So thank you very much for watching today's live stream. If you liked it, make sure you like the stream and let me know. You can share the video if you liked it, and you can subscribe if you're new around here. I'm with videos like this one every single day, and if you subscribe, you'll see them dead on your homepage. Hit those notifications if you want to see more. And oh, wait, one more. I have to plug this because, again, I really love these new merch designs. So again, this is I've been working on like a separate section of merch just for like stream merch, because I know some people are like, it'd be fun to like show up on stream and get a piece of merch. So we got some new merch store merch, and it's all priced really terribly because like I always set it up so I'd make $3 and everything. I think so. Everything's like price of selling minus $3. But look, do you want to get yourself a Christmas cat t-shirt? These were designed by a professional graphics artist. Again, they were paid. It was a wonderful thing. So you can get one of these. You can get one of. Wait, why can't I see them? I think the page is broken. Okay, we'll give this a try again. Okay, so as you can see, you can get a Christmas cat t-shirt. Okay, you know what? The website doesn't work for me, but click the link in the description, and if you want to see it, you can check it out. Oh, I can change the background. Ah, maybe I should do that. Wait, do you want to see the new background live right now? It's going to be gold now. That's a good background color. Yep, that works for me. Actually, wait. Let's... Ooh, that's good. Wait, maybe this one right here? Yeah, a nice white. I like all these textures. They're pretty nice, actually. We'll go for a wood. That way you feel like you're shopping at a physical store. There you go. Look how nice my merch is. No, thank you very much for watching today's live stream, though. I hope you all enjoy them, because I've been having a lot of fun making them recently. And I expect to see another one on Sunday. So, see you then when I get back. Assuming I haven't died, because, always got to remember, there's always a tiny chance that Toycat dies before the next live stream. You got to be ready for it. That way you won't be sad when it does happen. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I left out a lot of bamboo there, and it's going to bug me forever, so I'll fix that now. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.